Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. This is a video on Star Trek versus Star Wars. So I will be discussing the origins of both in terms of the history and how they're created, everything, not everything, but most of the main points about both. As you all know, this is like the oldest nerd science fiction debate ever. And I want to give my own opinions as well. So please stay tuned for that. Star Trek was created by Gene Roddenberry in 1966. It was famously pitched as Wagon Train to the Stars. Born during the tension of the Cold War, it offered a hopeful vision of our future, where humanity can finally learn how to work together. In this universe, Earth has moved past poverty and war to form the United Federation of Planets. The main theme focuses on exploration and the Prime Directive. The ethical rule of not interfering with developing civilizations. Even today, through shows like Strange New Worlds, Star Trek remains a speculative sci-fi mirror. It asks deep philosophical questions about AI, war, and what it truly means to be human. Star Wars was created by George Lucas in 1977. He took inspiration from the Flash Gordon series, Kurosawa films, and Joseph Campbell's mythologies. Star Wars didn't just change movies, but created a modern mythology. While it's set in space, Star Wars is actually a space fantasy. It's less about how the ships work and more about the eternal struggle between good and evil. At its heart is the Force, a mystical energy field that binds the galaxy together, and the Jedi, the knights who wield it. From the original Rebels vs. Empire story to the modern, grittier world of Andor, Star Wars has always been about the hero's journey. It's about the small person standing up against an unstoppable machine. Hi everyone. So I'm giving my final thoughts. So I watched both films. Of course, that's why I'm doing the video. And I feel Star Wars has an obvious message. So it's basically about light versus dark, good versus bad. So this message is quite simple. So evil always exists, but it can be managed and dealt with. So there is a sense of hope and rebellion that does happen quite often now in this world. And people do believe that positive things can happen. And I researched that, and I haven't seen the program, but I know it's kind of a dystopian that where people do struggle to have their own freedoms. and basic rights. So the government or the empire in the program is in control of how society is. So, and with Star Trek, it's not that obvious. It's mostly, it's not nothing to do with good and bad guys in their films and stories, but more to do with diplomacy and how humans interact with one another from different areas, like different civilizations, how they interact with one another. And it's more about getting along with each other. So diplomacy, AI is kind of it's basically a new thing, but it's not so new. But it's just a topic of today, and war, like how to sort out and mitigate future conflicts around the world. So it's kind of relevant to today, and as I said before about Strange New Worlds, which tackles these modern day topics. With Star Wars, I like how we get to learn about the whole character arc of the main character and following their journey into understanding good and evil and understanding there is hope. It's like the whole character arc I really enjoy, and the whole entertainment aspect of it as well, which is what I really enjoyed about watching Star Wars and how simple it is to follow. With Star Trek, it's more nuanced in terms of the story and the themes. It's more about how humanity works together. So it answers the question, or asks the question of it. And it's more about problem solving rather than just battling with the force of evil, which is obviously what Star Wars deals with. I do love both because they're very different but very similar in a number of ways in terms of how relevant it is for the modern world. Like we do get diplomacy, politics, and ethics as well. I would say for Star Wars, 8 out of 10, and Star Trek, 7.5 out of 10. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I think I like the message for both films. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and do not miss any more content such as this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.